Hello, hello. Let me see if I can still get this spout going. If not, we're not gonna have a we might just go today without the 3D avatar. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. I hope everyone had good holidays. I know I did. Both on and off the charts. Oh, I don't have my camera, that's why. Oh, 1 sec here, guys. See if that works now. Alright, so yeah, before I jump into everything, just give some shout outs to Kazanomics on Twitter, on X, I should say. What's going on? Reset position? Okay, there we go. Hi. Perfect, you guys see me now. Good. Good, let's maybe move me a little bit. Is this okay? Yeah, this is okay. Okay, let's get that bigger. Perfect. So, hey, how's it going, guys? Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Before we get started, again, shout outs to Kazanomics. Shout out to Trader Main. Crypto Cred, a shout out to let's just do one more. I'll say the Duck, Donald. You know, all of these guys have assisted me in my trading journey. Jeff, just check them out. That's all you gotta do. Also, Breakout Prop, definitely check that. If you're looking for a crypto prop trading firm, they're the best. Yeah, so let's get started right away here. Bitcoin ETF. That's really what's coming. That's what's happening. That's what we're talking about. And that's why we see this daily candle on Bitcoin showing us 7% move today. Yeah, what does this mean? Where is this going? What's happening? You know, what has been happening in Bitcoin's recent price history. Like, yeah, so we'll go back to check out my other charts here. So yeah, BTC up heavily. It's a new year. And basically ever since the new year, we, let's see, where was the new year? That was the new year here. Actually, let's just go on our chart because I've got it marked. Yeah. So new year was blue. And we can see what we sort of projected. What were we looking at here? So we bounced out of this range. I think we were talking right around here is when we were talking. You can see that's the beginning of the lines. And it looks like kind of white was what we ended up going with. And then we're just, as I marked out, shooting up. It's happening much faster than predicted, but regardless, we had this kind of down correction earlier, and now we're having an up move out of it, melting up. As actually, I'll give a big shout out to Rookie XBT, Ponzi Trader on the Magnet Money show. I won a Christmas giveaway from them. I just wanted to go on their channel and just have some networking with them to let them know how much I appreciate what they do for the entire crypto community. And they gave me $1,000. Now, I'm going to do some giveaways sort of in honor of the Magnet Money show. And we'll say that, like, over the course of this year, I'm going to give back at least that $1,000 to you guys in my community. Just to sort of say thanks for showing up, for watching the show, and all that sort of stuff. Now, these giveaways, I'll maybe make some announcement videos, and I do recommend that you get into the Telegram chat. There's a lot of stuff going on around in there. Look at this mark we had, 47.2. Like, I had this marked from here, and look at that, bang, right into it. So yeah, this stuff, I mean, people say TA is woo woo and all that stuff. Don't listen to everyone you hear, because they're the people that are literally printing this chart. All right, sign into chat. Oh no, was I not signed into chat? I guess I wasn't signed into chat. That's okay, I don't think anyone's really chatting anyways. So, where do we go from here? What's happening? Bitcoin ETF, right? So, that's the narrative today. Of course, nothing's been approved yet. This is, I just think, so much pent-up demand, and people basically believing that it's already approved, which for the most part, like, I mean, think of it this way. Why would they make them fill out these forms the week before if they're gonna just reject them? I mean, it could all be psyops, but literally this morning, Gary Gensler's Twitter, he goes on and he rants about how crypto is speculative and there's a lot of scams and Ponzi's and all this stuff. So you think he's going to do this and then they're going to reject it? I think he's kind of like, this is what I saw from it, is that he's preparing the market for a lot of volatility, right? Now, whether it's up or down, who knows? I just think at this rate, we already know it's basically up, right? Now, could we still see a correction? Yeah, definitely could still see a correction. Let's drill down a little bit in the time frames here and go down to the 4-hour. And then let's just erase our other ideas here, because we know what happened, right? So we got our white sort of mid-wit played out. I'm just going to leave that up for a moment so you guys can see how squiggles work, because they're not always perfectly accurate, but they can give you a generalized guidance towards what's coming or what's to come. Yeah, so on the 4-hour, basically what had happened, actually let's just draw it. We spiked out of this sort of range, but it was just a deviation. So then, next thing was this sort of range. We had a downtrend, which price wedged into one point. And usually when we see that, we see a move upwards. Depending, because this is a bull flag right now, right? This is a bull flag essentially, and it just broke out of the bull flag, right? So yeah, I mean, same thing here, right? Bull flag breaks out. Was it successful? It tried. It wasn't successful. And we had this as our next sort of roof. That's why we marked it. Oh, come on. I had to let my cat in. It's getting cold. All right, so now that we've spiked up into this, what we had kind of drawn on our green one, if you remember, was that we would kind of do something like that. So I think, you know, at this point, it's kind of safe to say that we're going to kind of just trade around this zone for a little while until we see the next sort of move, whether it goes up or down. I think, you know, my tendencies are that I think we're in the bull market and that things will continue going up with corrections along the way. I mean, look at this one. This was the FUD we had. Just the other day we had some FUD, 12.5% down, just due to some one matrix port. Like, who knows what matrix port is? Anyways, matrix port had basically said that, you know, it's more than likely it's going to be denied. And because of that, we saw this down move here. Now, you know, some people took that as an opportunity to buy, and those people are pretty happy at a 16% move in Bitcoin in how many days? In 5 days. Hi, kitty. Hi. Yeah, you're soft. Sorry, guys. My kitty needs some love. There's the microphone. You burned it? Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back, guys. Okay, so yeah, 5 days. 5 days, 16%. You do that on leverage, and say you 10x'd it, that's 160% move you could have captured. Mind you, you know, not a lot of us either have the balls or the conviction to be longing at that point. So maybe say you waited for this to break somewhere around here, waited for the retest, maybe you entered here. You know, you could have still made a really nice play from, you know, when it breaks out here up. Even just breaking out of this range up would have been like 4 or 5% on leverage. That's 40-50% move. So yeah, just in a couple hours too. That would have been like within less than a day. So yeah, guys, I mean, I think from here, what I'm looking at is to see what we have happen with the ETF news. I think we maybe move here and we do some big sort of seesaw action and then continue moving upwards afterwards. So this is kind of what you're looking for when it comes to the ETF news. Like, I think we're just going to kind of play around this range. ETF announcement, maybe because we pumped, it's going to dump. This is sort of like, you could think of it like FOMC meetings or any sort of news events like that, where it usually goes down and up in a seesaw or up and down in a seesaw and then chooses a direction afterwards. And once it chooses a direction, you can enter the trade at that point and ride the wave. Yeah, I mean, just, I'm not going to put any predictions in here for arrows and stuff, because I think we're just going to want to let it see how it plays out. But I think, you know, ETF boost is going to be like in the 50K range. And then, you know, if we do sell off, maybe it bounces here and then continues. This could also be a definite likely scenario, just because I think there's still some form of selling that has been sort of created in this area. Like buyers in this area might be willing to sell in that area. Same with things from here. Maybe buyers were willing to buy and hold for a while here, and then they're going to sell in this sort of area. Once we get this pump, I think some people are going to look to dump. But either way, real bullish. Like everything is bullish in the crypto market right now. BTC dominance. Let's see what we were looking at with that. Yeah, so like right now, Bitcoin's kind of taking the show. We could even see this, right? Push up. Once the approval happens, this is the push up. You know, in dominance might come up to like this area or this area here. Actually, that's really inaccurate. Let me just put an actual line there. Yeah, so this area right here. Maybe this area right here, we could see some form of rejection starting to happen. But yeah, I think BTC dominance. See, we had this uptrend and it looked like it was going to break down, but it was really just a fake out. So now we're going to kind of redraw to incorporate that price action, right? Because we broke back into the channel, so we're still cruising on this trend. Yeah, trend from there. So maybe we're on trend from here now. So it could be that this is sort of the beginning of the trend that we're gonna follow down to. It could be that this dips a little deeper into that. Let me just redraw that one. Something like that maybe could still be possible, and then that's when we see a little, you know, correction, and this is sort of your alt season. Funny enough that this has been happening, but alts have still been going wild. So let's take a quick look at that just to show you what I mean, because we were looking at this chart before. This is total 3, so this is everything but ETH and BTC. So this is the alts. I mean, we could even add total 2 and see, but it looks identical almost, right? So we just go with total 3, and this is kind of what we showed that we were expecting to play out. And it sort of started to play out faster than I anticipated. But now we've come back, sort of like a deviation, just like we seen on that Bitcoin deviation. Now we're retesting. You know, here, could we play around in here before we move up? And then this is where that Bitcoin dominance starts going down, like I showed you. It's tough to say, but we'll see kind of how price plays out after the ETF. Let's take a look at ETH. ETH BTC. We were looking at this. I mean, we're just in these lows, right? We're just on these lows here. And, you know, we've seen this breakout. I think we were looking at it right around here, yeah. Oh, no, we were December. So we're seeing the breakout and sort of the retest. And now we've dipped lower. I think we do tag this, and that's when we start moving back up. And that's kind of, I think, preemptively waiting on the Bitcoin ETF, then ETH ETF pre-balling, and then ETH ETF like actual whatever. I think maybe faster. So it could be like here that all this happens, where Bitcoin ETF approval, then ETH ETF sort of like people getting ready for it, and then the announcement, and then the approvals, and it's like all gonna happen very quickly, I think. And this is sort of where our halvening is happening for BTC as well. So a lot of things colliding at the same time. So ETH for price action. Let's see, which one do we have marked out? Looks like this one. Yeah, so what were we looking at here? We looked at a breakout of this wedge. Yeah, breakout of this wedge is what we're talking about. And then here we were showing you that it's possible that, you know, we hit this and then correct and then continue. And that's, I think, exactly what we were presuming. Now we'll see this happen here, further here, like that's probably what's going on. And then up into this zone here, 2800s is kind of what we're looking at for the next zone for ETH. 25 to 2800 is kind of, I think this could turn into a fairly big range even in the pre ETF, and then just shoot out for ETF, sort of like Bitcoin, having like a larger range up top, right? Larger range up top, and then blows out for the approval. Solana. So that's kind of what we looked at first. Then I had started a new chart, and we were looking at this. Oops, made a little dot there. We were looking at this trend continuing up from the bottom here, which it looks like it is doing, you know, just consistently sort of bouncing off this uptrend. Let's dip her down here and look at Solana. So it looked like we were looking at pretend longing right here. And funny enough, that happened just before this massive dump we had. So that would have been a scratch. But then if you would have waited, let me show you that. So that same area, you know, you could have eventually played this area. That's kind of where it left. Right? Really interesting how this became a very important area. Regardless, that was a loss. But you could have waited for, you know, something like this to be broken, maybe took a loss here, and then re-entered here, and you would have ripped. Right? So lots of opportunity. But let's take a look at what we were scripting. This was our drawing. Up, 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 up. It went past our drawing. Whoops, touching bonk there. Went way past our drawings. But I was saying, you know, right around 135, 140 is kind of where we're going. 100, 110 was kind of short term, mid-term. Well, more mid-term. And 130, 140 was more long-term. Looks like we got that 110 very quickly off of here, right? Like here we did do some chopping after I had said it's very bullish. It was still very bullish, but we did do some chopping around in this sort of range. So between 80 and 60, pretty big 20% range. You know, I know I caught some trades in here. And some trades along the way up here. Did pretty good actually throughout the holidays there. I remember trading on Christmas Day just because price action was too good to sort of sit on my hands, and I made a good chunk of coin, sort of like a nice Christmas present to myself. Yeah, so what are we looking at now? We got this, you know, this downtrend that's happening right now. So like a bull flag sort of action. It is sort of microphony, so this is why I think we see it chopping people out more and more. But I think we're looking for a pretty good... Sorry, just heard something on my window. I heard, sorry, I think we're looking for a pretty good break of this sort of zone once we push up here. I'm not sure where this is going to happen. I think more than likely, I feel like this is kind of the zone that it's going to happen. Because alts, like, they're not going to get completely killed in USD value. They might get killed in, like, the BTC value during the pump in the ETF news. It's just because, like, alts still are very strong, especially things like Solana. Very strong right now. And this strength is going to play forward into the markets into this year. Excuse me. Whoa. So even here, like, we could see, something like this. So, like, pump out of the news. Bitcoin continues. Yeah, it's tough to say. Like, it could reject here and like, I don't know. It could reject right here and, like, maybe do that as well. I really don't know. But I think because it's the BTC one, it could look different from the actual USD one looking like this, even with the BTC one looking like this, right? Like, it could potentially happen like that. So yeah, I mean, I think more likely we're going to break this trend as well once the ETF news is done. ETH BTC, right? That's what we're going to see this guy rip once ETF news is done. It could happen faster than that, so let's do that. Kind of like this. Yeah, by the 14th, like, definitely got the news, and then we're gone. We're, to the races, and this continues skyrocketing. Sol BTC at that point starts skyrocketing. Sol USD at that point starts skyrocketing. ETH USD starts skyrocketing. So, like, that, something like that. We're just going to put it on the chart and see what happens. BTC, again, I think we're skyrocket, a little correction, and then continue on it. That's about it, is what I'm thinking for the next few days. Let's see, how long have I been for you guys here? 30 minutes. Yeah, I think we're going to cut this pretty quick today. I just wanted to cover some stuff and talk about the ETF sort of news trade. Do I recommend doing futures in this? I mean, it's up to you. If you have some money you're willing to lose, definitely might be worth playing some news plays. But again, it's like, it could seesaw so hard that it kills both longs and shorts, at least of a certain velocity. Couple ones I'm going to talk about real quick before we leave. Of course, Bonk and MYRO. Let's just have a look here. So this is what we were talking about here. Let's go down to the 2 hour. We were looking at a much lower time frame. Yeah, so we broke out here, and this is what I was talking about, like an inverted head and shoulders breakout. And I was like, yeah, it's going to go up. And it went up like quite a ways. It went up about halfway. You would have easily gotten like 5 Rs out of this before it completely nuked it. But that being said, I didn't actually take this trade. This was just like a hypothetical trade. So again, that's like two that we lost. Even though if I were managing this trade, we would have took a couple R's off it for sure before it dumped and nuked to nothing. So these were my sort of trade ranges that I was saying, that we go up and move, or we go down and then continue back up. So the down, we did get the down, not quite as deep as I expected, but we got the down move and then continued up. And look at this target. And what did we go to? Like, that was just like an insane move from when I was talking about it to where I said was 100% move. And it went another 100% on it almost. So like you could have caught like a 3x move just buying and holding some bonk if you were, you know, bonk crazy or whatever. Either way, what are we looking at now? I think right now we can see that it's broken this flag, and we're just seeing if it can rotate. You know, we just saw a huge up push candle at 20% candle up into this sort of zone. So I'll mark that zone. That was the high. And we're retesting here. So that's kind of the base before it dropped. Yeah, and I mean, I think now that it's rotated, we just wait to sort of see some constructive price action above this sort of range. Then it's going to push up to this sort of range. And then, you know, one sort of stage at a time, it's going to just continue climbing. Yeah, I mean, we can kind of see that on the chart here as well. There's a spot. There's a spot. I mean, there's a spot. That's kind of in the midpoint of the top range, and that'll be the breakout high. So we'll see. I think this could be constructive, but it could take a while and do sort of like one of these cup and handle type rotations. And the safest place to play it would be on this bull flag here and enter as it exits the all-time high sort of retest. That would be the safest place to play it for crazy continuation. But I think right here is your first place, second place, you know, third, fourth, fifth. You have a few places you can continue playing this as it goes back up. So we'll keep an eye on that one. MYRO. Woo! This one's being crazy. Look at that. That's crazy. So I think I first started talking to you guys about this right around here. You know, we were expecting this to go up. But we didn't get that. We actually got a dip down. Oh, let me get rid of that circle. So we actually got a dip down instead. But then we did end up making our way back up. And we hit a 50 mil, 60 mil sort of top. And then we corrected. And we didn't just correct once and then come back up to 50, but we recorrected again. And this was like, I was saying, oh, cup and handle, but this took a lot longer to play out. So we can see here, you know, that was kind of the flag, something like that maybe. Yeah, I think that looks good. So that kind of looks like the flag that did play out. Right, so we're retesting, and this was just a lot of consolidation until we found a bottom. And we found a bottom right around here, right between the 15-20 mil mark. There was a lot of price action between the 15-20 mil mark, and we can see that that's very strong support. And then sort of once we climbed out of that, started getting, you know, some bullish price action. And then once we broke above this guy here, you know, we really ran and then retested that guy as well down at 28 mil. So we ran from about 20 to 28, and then from 28 to about 42, and then corrected heavily, you know, a couple times, and then started to work our way out of that zone. Once we worked out of that zone, you know, we really just sent basically all through this previous all-time highs, all the way up to 93 mil. It looks like it hit on BitGet, and that was that previous high. We came to retest it, and now we've made our way back out of there. Where do we kind of go from here? You know, we could look at this as the correction. You know, if we look at a very tight bull flag like this one, it looks like we're, you know, already sort of correcting out of that one. But I think we could see it sort of consolidate throughout here for a little while before we make our way up further into highs. Otherwise, we could do a bonk and sort of just like continue rallying an insane amount. Just because I think the narrative on this and the amount of eyes that can get onto it now due to it being on so many centralized exchanges and whatnot, large accounts promoting it, all this sort of stuff. It's a meme, it's a dog coin, you know, ape responsibly if you're going to buy this thing. It's up at 70 mil market cap, and it could literally dump back down, like, for all I know. I'm no genius. But memes are crazy right now on Solana, and some other chains as well. So this one's one I really want to share with you guys, OMNICAT. This one's actually on all chains. Excuse me. So this guy is insane. I wish we had better price action. Let me see if I can find something else. See if I can grab it off Uniswap. The fuck is that? It looks kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie. But this just shows you what happened. This was the first day. First day this thing pumped all the way up to like somewhere around 200 mil. And that's I think part of it is it's tough to calculate because it's on so many chains. It has so much liquidity pools. Nobody could actually calculate the price of this thing's market cap, and I think the confusion was part of the reason it drove up so fast. Regardless, it's had a major correction back down. I mean, that's saying 99% correction down. And from the lows, it's saying we've already done it 10x. Which, I'm sorry, is not that accurate. Because I think we didn't really get much lower than about here. Yeah, that looks about better. So it's made a 300% move from the lows, kind of. These wicks, I'm not sure how accurate they are. And that would also make, like, I think it was only about there. So yeah, about 90, maybe 92% correction, maybe 95% correction. I don't think it was quite 99%. But regardless, this thing has corrected a lot. And it's on every chain. And it's a meme coin attached to Layer 0, which has not done their airdrop. So these people actually work for Layer 0, the guys that developed this. And they're working with Layer 0 and Stargate. They got this listed on Stargate on Christmas Day. Like, I mean, it's, if you're a crypto native and you understand a little bit about what's going on and about airdrops, this is definitely looking bullish. Again, ape responsibly. Ape small stacks into stuff like this, because it could moon like insanely, and then you're not scared of losing it. You're not losing sleep, all that sort of shit. Anyways, guys, I think that's all I'm going to show you guys for today. We'll catch you guys on the next one. I really wanted to talk about these other 4 altcoins, though. Real quick, I'm going to talk about these because they all look primed for takeoff here. Let's just show you real quick. This is, and I'll give a shout out to, who the fuck was teaching? Oh, I can't remember who's teaching me about this. But you see this range getting created, right? So it spikes up, range, retest. We're looking for a go signal here. A go signal here. So don't take your eyes off things like TIA, things like Say, same sort of thing. That's different, no. yeah, so that's sort of the thing. Looking for a takeoff, right? Mina, same sort of thing, right? Looking like for a takeoff. And I mean, you can just see this stuff. It's all primed. Inge, same sort of thing. We could just use that as the range, right? Looking for a takeoff. These are all looking for a takeoff. I'll catch you guys on the next one, and thanks for tuning in.